Welcome back, everyone. We have game number 2 here in the grand finals between CR4ZY and Quincy Crew here at the BTS Pro Series America's Edition. And I have to say, it's really exciting to be able to see CR4ZY taking a game off of Quincy Crew. I think a lot of us will be very honest, thought this was probably going to be a 3-0, but CR4ZY has been
Yep.
bringing the aggression, the heat, everything. And they managed to take game 1 in a very convincing fashion. But here we are in game number 2, so we'll see. What's up, Kips?
It's me. I'm guilty. I never thought in a million years that previous game was going to happen,
Really?
and it went so fast too. Like the way in which they played it. I mean, I said this to you in the break as well, but the execution of the map calls in that game, the amount of discipline that you need to have in the comms in order to avoid it getting cluttered there is amazing. These guys must be so businesslike about this, and that's amazing. And when you play like that feels so streamlined and it feels like you're one unit, and it's so enjoyable to do, and I hope that they manage to stick to that because it would be amazing. I didn't have time to talk about half of the things that I wanted to talk about in that game because they went too dang fast.
They definitely moved at light speed. And again, that brings me back to one of my questions is, does Quincy Crew, do they try to match the speed of which CR4ZY has been playing, or do they try to find a way to slow the game down? And so far with the Treant Protector, I would say they're going to see if they can slow them down a little bit, right? The fact that you do have this ability to heal up towers, heal up cores, push out waves, that
Mm-hmm.
it's not a, obviously it's one pick, right? It's not an entire draft, but that signals to me that they are still going to try to play their own style of Dota. We might see something like a Phoenix come out along with the Treant Protector if it makes it through the draft, and see some more team fight coming out here. But yeah, it's been very exciting to watch this team. And yeah, I was talking with a friend yesterday. I was actually talking to Neff. For those of you who have been watching, the group stages and whatnot. We were saying, do you think that if CR4ZY makes it in, will they be able to take some games off of Quincy? And he was like, absolutely. He was 100% sold on it.
Mm-hmm.
After watching the games yesterday and today, I'm not like shocked by it. I'm pleasantly surprised just because of how tidily it went and how quickly it went.
Yeah.
But again, CR4ZY. They've really been improving. They've been very aggressive and they're making all the right moves. But you get to see the KZU Venomancer. We talk about him playing a very what's the word, stable force that just kind of
Mm-hmm.
stays in a lane,
Yes.
pushes things out. So they're going to go for the same thing for KZU, but they pick up an early Terrorblade, and I'm not sure how I feel about this early. What do you think?
Mm. I think that they enjoy being able to ban out the three worst matchups for it. So you get to take out the Drow, Morphling, Arc Warden just in sequence, and then it becomes very hard to deal with it. But at the same time, Venomancer's already on the board. Your lane is not going to be all that enjoyable right from the start. So CR4ZY definitely had anticipation going there, even though they might not be able to do anything about it anymore. And there is a Batrider ban here for Quincy, so one of the three bad matchups for TB, and I say bad here because he doesn't even necessarily have to lose them, is going to go through.
They ban out the Beastmaster here too. They don't want to see Lelis playing that now that they have picked up the Venomancer for KZ themselves. So I guess, I'm thinking that this Mirana is going to be Moon Meander, and have him be very, active, trying to throw arrows over into the mid lane, put pressure down on Quinn, which is something that they are going to have to be aware of. They're going to need something that's going to be able to rotate, to save any sort of lane rotations going on, though. And that's a very smart ban. I don't think you let that Phoenix get over there. Although I'm not sure if Phoenix is necessarily the best during laning anyways, because of the fact that, you've got Flame Spirits and Icarus Dive, but you're not really going to be going and ganking that mid lane too often. I mean, you could.
No, you're not.
Usually not.
It would put Quincy Crew with a very passive support duo. At the same time, if we, read this Treant Protector plus Terrorblade combo as an attempt to solidify their late game, then they wouldn't be that bothered by it at all. So yeah, Arc Warden ban out now. And I guess that the last one is going to be the Drow, because the Morph matchup is definitely winnable, especially if you just farm faster than him. It's still very annoying that you can get your form stolen and he just does the metamorphosis thing better than you. But that is about the only part of the matchup where the Morph really counters you in the man fight. Apart from that, it's mostly about the Morph being able to assassinate your teammates and you having to stand there and deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting that okay, so they did ban out the Elder Titan fairly early on. I think that's a good choice. SVG's just too good with that hero. Granted, they didn't win the last game, but like all of his positioning, all of his echo stomps were just so on point that they actually had to find methods of being able to kite it, right? So even Braille, you know, picking up just a casual force staff, making sure that he can move away from all of the spells coming out, really paid off in spades. And then occasionally, you know, having to spin and whatnot coming out from HFN's Juggernaut. Legion also going to get taken out. That is a very popular Lelis hero. You've got some very squishy people on the board right now with the Mirana. Venomancer eventually can tank up, obviously, you know, if he goes for like the Greaves more the utility build, but just you don't want to let him get that. It's just too good in the hands of Lelis.
And the Venomancer also enjoys, he's not necessarily concerned about dying, but he definitely wants to press R before dying, and Legion Commander isn't going to let him do that.
No.
So
it also has a nice dispel too. That's always very value for a lot of these fights here.
Oh, Lena. So Drow and Morph both available, and they go for the Void Spirit. That's a big deterrent towards actually picking up that Morphling, though.
That's
Void
a Quinn
Spirit,
specialty right there.
a fast Quinn specialty, and any Morphling can get 100 to 0 by this hero in no time flat. Just starting at level 6, actually. It is not a fun game to play, especially with the mobility. He can hunt you anywhere. I don't think they'd look for that anymore. And this is also the reason why they'd be happy to let the Drow through as well, because the Drow isn't happy about a Void Spirit astral stepping on her face either. No, sir.
Definitely not. It's too risky having someone who can jump those back lines. So let's see. I mean, they could also run a Mirana mid. I don't think they're going to, but that is a flex pick. That is an option on the board. But clearly they figured that this is a support, considering that they banned out Bryle's Lena here. They don't want to have to deal with that. So now that you know, but it's funny though. Like I feel like Quincy is on the ropes right now a little bit because they picked up these two cores very early on. They're like, we need to make sure that we can get these heroes. These are what we're comfortable with. This is what we can, you know, do a lot of work with. We have to make sure that we are still playing our game of Dota. Oh boy. All right. Well, hoping that's not a Bryle mid Snapfire. But could be.
Has that happened?
We have been seeing a lot of Snapfire mid coming out from the NASA region. Hiko has been running this. Who else was? There's someone else who was running this the other day in the mid lane. Oh god, I can't remember it. But yeah, this has been something that people have been experimenting quite a bit with. So that might just be a shift. It could be a Kazu in the off lane with it. It could be, you know, it's a lot of flex maneuverability here. But it's interesting to see that Crazy has opted to keep their cards fairly close to their chest, aside from the Venomancer. The Rubik steal. That's a, you know, it's pretty easy to steal Snapfire Kisses if you're in the right position. Also, the arrow's always nice to steal as a Rubik.
It's very good. Rubik also with a oblique Aether Lens is a very good candidate to cancel the Snapfire ult, as opposed to the Void Spirit having to be called in to do that, or, you know, wandering the Treant Protector all the way over to the backline, and there is the Void.
Well, they've got a lot of really fantastic things that they can throw into the Chronosphere. He's going to be able to, you know, stay in the lane fairly easily. Depending on what they pick up, of course, for Lelis. They could go for something like a Centaur, try to run away, but of course, if they're already in a Chronosphere, it's not going to help them too much.
Yeah, so the way that, especially waiting with this Faceless Void pick, it's a bit of a luxury, right? Because this era has been banned first phase, second phase. The fact that they get to wait all the while is extra handy, because that means that now you can't pick up a Shadow Demon anymore, for example, which is, in my opinion, the best hero versus a Faceless Void. Just, oh, somebody is in the Chronosphere, well, now they're not bothered by it anymore, and it's near impossible to get a good follow-up on it as well, if you play your cards right. Of course, into a Mirana, a little bit less so, but the defensive options for Quincy Crew are now extremely limited, and you almost have to go with a more offensive solution to this Void. And let's face it, the only role that they have left here is in the lane, so in my opinion, you pick up something here with steady damage. Unfortunately, the Venomancer is already taken. That would be an ideal candidate to make this Void Spirit's lane as hard as possible. Faceless Void, excuse me.
Why did they ban the Axe, though? They already... I'm assuming that's going to be Kazu who's playing the Venomancer. So I'm a little surprised that they go for a ban on an offlaner.
5 seconds.
Unless they're shifting things around like really, really crazily. No pun intended. Sorry. Yeah. I'm confused here.
So-
I'm not sure what they're doing with this
Radiant
draft over
team
on the
pick.
side of crazy. We're about to find out though. So
The Ember Spirit's a much more expected kind of ban here.
because you assume that they might not like it might be a Snapfire in the I don't know. I don't know what's happening with this crazy draft right now. I really don't.
Remaining.
I think that it's just the Snapfire support. It's like the
5 seconds
threat
remaining.
of the mid snap is there, but that's one of those things where I do think that it's niche enough that there would have been signs if Brawl has been practicing that, and I think Quincy Crew, judging by the bans, don't think that he's actually going to do that, but they are considering that Kezu plays the Snapfire and that the Venom is going to go mid.
That is possible.
presume.
It's definitely possible. Or again, like the Mirana could also go mid, but you don't really want to have a Venomancer not in a core position, generally speaking. It's not very good. Can do it, but I think, was it 4 Zoomers that did something like that, where they ran the Veno as like a position 4 or 5? This will tell us everything. Okay, so it's going to be most likely...
It still doesn't tell you
It
anything,
could be
does
Bryle. It could be a Brow Wind Ranger. We've seen him play that. Moon Meander's also
Yes.
played it. But those two, that seems to make the most sense to me at this time, would be you would have UR on the Faceless Void and then Bryle in the Wind Ranger.
10
But again,
seconds
I
remaining.
can be totally wrong. Kind of hope I am wrong in some ways because it's always fun to see
5
new drafts
seconds
coming out.
remaining.
But don't really have anyone. I guess you could yeet the Venomancer if you get the Ags on the Snapfire.
Oh, yes.
But then what does Quincy Crew pick up here? For Lelis is the question. What's left? Because they took out the Underlord, they took out the Tidehunter, they took out the Axe, Batrider, Beastmaster. What do you put in that offlane now?
Mm,
So you need initiation
Is the-
too. You need something that's going to be able to follow up Void Spirit as you go zipping on in.
You may now select
Okay.
your heroes.
I mean, I'm glad I didn't call anything because I wouldn't have said Lycan in a million years.
I mean, it's something they
It is
run
the
before.
Lelis
It's a
Lycan.
while ago.
Exactly, and it has fallen out of favor, so it's uncommon to see teams reach into their bag of tricks this early in a best of 5, but at the same time, this would be the moment to switch it up, wouldn't it? Because that game 1 is probably unacceptable to Quincy Crew.
So the wacky drafting coming out of the side of Quincy Crew and not crazy here because Bryle will be playing the Wind Ranger. So it's going to be Owie playing the Snapfire. That makes a lot more sense. I'm sorry. I've seen the mid Snapfire just pop out of nowhere sometimes. So I'm just like, oh God, is it happening? Is this going to be one of those games? But
10 seconds
no,
remaining.
makes much more sense.
You know they enjoyed the idea of making both us and their opponent consider it because
it's so crazy, right? It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
But you have to consider it, and you can't underestimate the amount of time that you can waste for an enemy draft just by picking something that could maybe eventually be a problem when it's flex picked. Because in a draft you want to, take care of all the possible angles, and the more angles there are to your draft, the more time you're going to waste. So
I mean, it is a best of 5. You could pull out something a little bit strange, but in this case, it's just going to be the offlane Lelis Lycan. So have to see if they're going to be able to succeed with this. It is a very fast hero. It's going to be able to go into the back lines, put out a lot of physical damage, and hopefully make enough space for Yawar to get what he needs on this Terrorblade. But I'm sure the aggression coming out here from the side of Crazy is going to be absolutely nuts, considering there are earlier games that we've seen today. So we'll have to see as we get into game number 2.
Yep. And they have beautifully constructed this draft around getting to deal damage into the chrono. So very much looking forward to HFN continuing his active streak here and using that chrono wherever it was off CD. He was, I'm sure the downtime of Omni Slash in that previous game was extremely low. That man was ready to fight anytime it was up.
Well, is this really a game where we don't have a pause immediately? What is this?
Rest easy, child.
I haven't had one of these in a while where we just immediately launch into the game.
Well, let's pray for good ping and stable connections.
Yeah, fingers crossed. What is it? Quincy crew has had like disconnect problems, like something with their power usually ends up happening half the time.
Especially in the grand finals, right?
Yes, that's what I've heard. Well, they immediately see that they dropped a ward over here, so that'll be a nice, quick, and easy D ward. Aw, Keizu's sharing his tangos here with Moon Meander. It's one tango, don't waste it.
30 seconds to battle.
Use this in your time of need, warrior. What? It's just a leaf. Shh,
Feels
be
like something that would
grateful.
happen in like Zelda, just like, it's dangerous to go alone, take this. This is a leaf.
Yes.
It's a magic leaf. Alright, yeah, you're definitely on something, friend. Alright, Wolves are gonna go do a little bit of scouting. Gonna go take a couple nibbles over here on
The
HFN.
battle begins.
Just zone him back a little bit here.
And Kenzu has been diligently chopping down all of these trees over on the right-hand side so that SVG can't ambush him from there. And as soon as SVG crosses over, he is, I'm sure Kenzu is going to start doing the same thing on the left side. It's not quite the same as having a Beastmaster where within 2 throws of the axes you just have a tree-free zone, but it'll work out eventually.
It'll make him sad either way, I'm sure.
Yep.
Sad SVG. I don't like sad SVG. It makes me sad. Snapfire making way over to this bottom lane. Try to just harass a little bit here. Try to clean up those wolves too, most likely. Let's have that point in Scatter Blast. Still feels pretty survivable though, coming out from both sides in this bottom lane.
Yes, I think you'd have to make a serious misplay, as at least on the side of Crazy, to have either of your players die here, but HFN could be forced into a lot of trading with a Lycan who has a lot of innate regen from the Feral Impulse, which would not be in his favor. And this is chip damage, it's not like they're nuking him down. So,
Yeah, look at that. He's taken so much already. Still has plenty of regen though, so just be a little careful. Top lane's just the deforestation of the dire jungle. And then Moon Meander just doing the best he can to harass.
those trees were all dead already anyway.
Not sure about that. They could
they
be
look alive to you?
hibernating. It could be a deciduous forest, Kips. Maybe they
Oh,
just
in winter.
lost their trees. Maybe it's winter on that side of the map, you know? I know it's summer is winter and winter is summer, depending where you are on the globe.
Very true.
Easy
I'll
Lord,
respect that. At the very least, it's gonna grow back.
You hope,
So.
at the very least.
SVG hopes.
For sure. Both the supports just trying to block up camps, just trading off some of these shots here. That's sitting a little low, does have himself a salve. Can take plenty of punishment from Maui for the time being.
Yeah, yes. And HFN is going to have to worry less about bringing in the regen now that he's got the Time Walk off CD, but again, it's all about how much chip damage Lelis can put into him.
It's relying pretty heavily on Aoi to make sure that he can try to keep him away.
Dire's turret has been
That's what she's
The real problem.
sniped up. Trying to figure out where we're going to see this first blood. Probably top lane, if I had to guess. In fact, as I say that,
should be
you
top
are
lane.
using the Fairy Fire, trying to get as much damage over onto KZ. Yes, they're going to be able to get the kill on you are before KZ falls.
The next level play.
So, KZ's going to be very, very happy about that. You are not so much. As it begins.
Nice instinct there. Meander is going to have a nice time bothering SPG here as well. Although, I'm surprised that he's going back. He could have definitely tried to deny some of this under tower.
He's taking a lot of damage here. Does manage to go drop down, but again, they have the time walk. One more hit. HFN will collect.
Dire's
Yeah, as soon as that Fade Bolt effect has worn off, HFN can really bring the hurt.
And he's definitely doing that down there. Also get another courier snipe here. So both of these poor heroes in the top lane. No courier support at all. SVG's courier getting jumped already. And then Yoar's next. So try to zone out Keizu a little bit. And
But
the run
Keizo is
time
already,
is up. 4 minutes.
like clockwork,
Mixing it up.
Meander's got it.
Nice shackle here over onto Quinn. They should be able to follow this up. Do they have the Starstorm? Yeah, they do. They have a lead too if they want to try to go for a bit of a deep dive, but looks like they'll respect the tower. They know that Quinn has the bottle. He's gonna go just use the salve, and Bryle will fill up his bottle with a tasty haste rune.
They didn't have the arrow, unfortunately. Meander had been hunting creeps. Which is exactly the scenario that he wants to be in. KheZu just solo on the top lane now. Still quelling blading down trees as soon as they grow back in.
I'm a little surprised that they didn't try to put more damage onto KheZu, knowing that Moon Meander wasn't there. But I guess, you know,
It's extremely hard to cross the distance.
Yeah.
SVG is slow, and if he gets too close, the plague wards just tick him down.
Oh, Moon Meander
same
wants
goes
this
for Yor.
courier. Oh, just respawn, Moon Meander. Have mercy.
That's it.
5-minute rings are up. Looks like they're going to try to make some plays over here onto Lellison. They managed to just barely clip him with the cookie, but in comes MSS. Got the Scatter Blast. HFN doesn't want to take any more damage, though. He doesn't have that time walk up, and these wolves are nibbling away on him, so he will back off the top lane again. Some moves being placed over onto KZ. They have the slow, and they had the meta up, but you are just preferring to turn back around and hit creeps.
HFN knows that the trading is over every time the Fate Bolt hits.
Every time.
Oh yes, every time.
In the mid lane, looks like Bryle will get chased down by Quinn. And since he hasn't had anyone to assist him in this mid lane, Quinn is definitely getting the better of this. Top of CS here, 36 and 4, whereas Bryle sitting at 27 and 1.
And this is a very comfortable triple CS lead for the Dire Heroes. It's surprising to me, because even though KheZu has had a good time on top, he hasn't exactly in the last hit department, just getting the experience that he wants.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Get a little bit of a pause
Oh
here.
well, but there we go.
That could be why, since KZ is the one who is pausing. But getting close to that level 6 here, so might see him get a little more aggressive. I'm not sure. Sometimes he likes to pick up the extra points in the Plague Wards and just plop himself in the lane and not do anything, but I feel like the way that Crazy's been playing is also very hyper-aggressive, so he might opt to go for that Poison Nova and start making some plays along with the rest of his team.
It is, yes. Like, Brawl has got his level 6 as well. He could make a rotation with this towards either lane, although I gotta say, he's probably not going to do the most damage into the armor of Yor. He'd really need the magic damage of KheZu's level 6 for that as well. So, more likely that Brawl is going to look for that bottom lane and see if he can connect with the first chrono of the game of HFN that should be coming out in about 2 creep waves. Of course, if Aoi stays out of EXP range.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Which is hard to do on a Snapfire without risking your carry's life, because you are a very short range hero.
That is true. Especially when they have the vision on you here on the side. Owie. Body block coming out here from the Wolves. HFN, though, he'll just go throughout the time dilation, get a couple bashes off over here onto Lelis. He might have to use that time walk to get away, though. In fact, yes, indeed he does. But we'll protect Owie.
There's a Mask of Death coming on the courier, so that's HFN's option of getting some regen going in this lane, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for him to be able to make a play on that Chronosphere timing.
SVG is
He's gotta feel
never
fragile
getting
right
a
now.
courier. He's never getting anything delivered. Moon Meander just has it low-jacked, for God's sakes. Sorry, I totally interrupted your thought there. My bad.
Oh, no worries. Moon annoying the enemy is what we're here for.
He's doing a great job of it. It's really been probably one of the MVPs in a lot of these games, the way that he's been playing. Right, HFN does opt to pick up that level 6 in the Chronosphere. Doesn't have the mana for it, though, so he's just going to be happily hitting creeps. Casey's just cutting the wave a bit here, dropping down all of these little wonderful Plague Wards. And you can see he's had enough up here. He doesn't want to be here anymore. He said, alright, I'm leaving the lane, you can have it, get some XP, I'm gonna go farm. Then he gets himself a broom handle for his troubles.
Very nice. Doesn't want it though, sticks with the Ocean Heart.
Broom?
And I can
Ooh, double damage
sweat.
snapped
Two
up by
stacks.
Bryle, but not sure if he's gonna be able to... Oh, no, turns back around. He's got the focus bar. Moon Meander coming in hot, looking for that arrow. Will be able to get the kill onto Bryle first, though, as Moon Meander will be the one to collect the kill. But they do ping out. There's no Snapfire anymore, so they're diving HFN. He does have the Chronosphere, though, if he needs to use it as a disengage. They still have the vision on him there. Oh, the TP's coming in, though, from Moon Meander. He's here. Should be able to turn this right back around again over onto MSS. The lift up. Now HFN taking a lot of damage, though. He is next to falls. Lellis just goes to town over here. Trying to chase after Moon Meander. Nice cookie hop. Slows down Lellis. He's got so much damage. Looks like he'll back off as UR finds a kill on KZU, knowing that those supports have rotated away.
He does take a lot of damage for his trouble, though. He actually has a TP out.
I think perhaps just a little bit too greedy coming out from HFN there to stick around.
UR fences forward with a Chrono up. Like the scenario there, in any other situation, especially the one where Bryle doesn't die in the mid lane, that is totally a fine play to make. But maybe a bit of force of habit coming in there.
Could be, but he makes his own rotation out to the top lane. They're going to try to put some
Oh,
pressure.
Quinn's gonna get Moon.
Oh, yeah, he is.
The void minds not your existence.
Now that was greedy.
That was. Look at Owie hiding in the tree line. Just, okay, don't look over here. Please don't look over here. They're looking over here. There's a lot of people over here.
Don't breathe.
If you can't move, if you don't move, will they see you? Clearly not. I guess they just don't care enough.
These are supposed to be wolves, not reptiles, but...
Actually, that's actually a false statement that everybody learned from Jurassic Park. Apparently the smell of a Tyrannosaurus Rex is so powerful, it wouldn't matter. They would still know that you're a tasty morsel, a meat bag there for them, so...
I totally believe that. They don't have that big of a nose for nothing. Evolution doesn't really do that.
Well, tower's going down here on the top lane, slowly but surely. They do have the living armor, but not quite enough to keep it alive just yet. It is, of course, oh, it is level 3, actually, huh? Alright. Bryle back in mid lane here against Quinn.
He's moving into the Orchid, and yeah, it's going to make him a consistent threat, especially against Bryle, who can do absolutely nothing once he's silenced, and who does not, I repeat, not want to build a Yule Scepter.
Definitely doesn't, but sometimes you can't always get what you want. We'll see, though. Owie in position here. Just keeps power shotting out the waves, though, here, Bryle. Oh, it's a nice shackle, but they need some more damage to take advantage of this. Look at this SVG around the corner. And Lellis, they've taken over control of the Radiant jungle. So the aggression's on. MSS also joined.
Crazy Nutter here, though. They have warded up this line very nicely. Nobody's gonna cross it without Crazy knowing. They're pretending the wards aren't there, though.
It's a lot of movement just for this mid tower. He's trying to buy some more space. Obviously, you know, UR right now has got the drums finished up. It's going to be having that Yasha very soon. And HFN in the top lane here has the Mask of Madness and the Truds.
Both of them just moving at pace. The build that, yeah, there's a Veil on the Venom right now, so indicating a much more active damage dealing build than the relatively defensive items he's went in the previous games. Just getting those Greaves up, stuff like that.
It feels like they're playing
ready
so
to
much
fight.
slower this time around on both sides. Right? Or is that just
There.
me? Oh, Moon Meander, though, has one of those leaps. Tries to go for the second one. Not going to be able to. Immediately throwing out the Moonlight Shadow, but they have the Dust, they have the Sentries, and they have themselves a dead Mirana. I see Lellis. Cookie Hop jumping over onto Lellis plus all of those lovely Mortimer kisses, and the Shackle is going to try to go take him out. He can't do it fast enough in time to follow up with the Overgrowth from SVG. Now Bryle Holden running away. That Poison Nova coming in. HF Endo looking for the opening. Manages to go, and he grabs two of them. Is immediately going to go just below of SVG. Going to try to get the kill here over onto MSS, but he's not going to be able to. You are being a bro and giving him that Sunder to keep him alive, as KZU does fall, though, to Lellis, and, or rather, falls over here to that Final
And
hit.
here's your pace. It is much more dependent on the ultimates this time around. So you have to wait for HFN to get that chrono.
Not quite landing exactly. Nice arrow steal though here from MSS. Be looking for those angles.
He's going to have some great setups done by especially the remnants, as well as the overgrowth. Once SVG throws it out.
They have a good way to punish them if they go too far, because that is one thing that they were doing a little bit in game number 1, is they were really pushing the envelope, and knowing that SVG has the overgrowth and can make it so they can't just keep dodging back and forth really makes it a little bit more precarious for the side of Crazy, I would say.
As well as that Crazy has the hard commit on taking down towers right now because of the living armor.
That's true.
Whereas Quincy Crew has a much easier... Anytime Lelis shows up, he's going to deal damage to a tower, and Crazy's going to have to live with it and let it fall at some point.
Shackle over here onto Quinn. Doesn't really matter though, because they'll still be able to take it down. Like you said, Lelis has this whole zoo that's going to be following him around and ripping apart buildings.
And I think the biggest problem here is that normally Crazy would make up for the fact that they have a slower pace on that ultimate of their carry through the plays of Brile and Moon Meander together, but neither of them can really make plays solo or together here. Both of their stuns are unreliable.
Moon waiting for that stun. Nice dodge though coming out here from Quinn as he's just chasing down HFN. They might have to be satisfied though with Moon because it's pretty hard to grab. It does have that Moonlight Shadow, has a couple of these leaps. It's not going to be enough, I don't think, though. They usually have some sort of detection, but it doesn't look like it is. And then comes Brile, he comes in on the back line, Moon Meander to fall, but MSS next to get taken down here. Do they have enough damage? That long-range kiss, not quite enough to go and take down MSS at this time, but they're on the hunt. They're trying to find him. MSS over in the corner. They will eventually get the final hit.
A lot of resources spent, though, on that top lane. And let's face it, we haven't seen Yor in about 10 minutes now. This man's nearly got a Manta style.
Top of the net worth too, 7.4k. This is exactly what Quincy Crew wanted to do, is slow down the tempo of the game, make sure that Yor can get this farm, and then eventually he's just gonna pop out and be like, hello, I'm done farming, let's murder.
I've finished mine agriculture.
Dire's middle tower.
Hood of Defiance finished up now for KZoo as well, but there's a lot of people nearby. As he goes, he drops, he immediately sees everyone and says, nope. Tries to hide in the tree line, but there's way too many people here. Does manage to get the Poison Nova off, but doesn't have enough to get that Sting either. As they've got the living armor, KZoo just slowly getting ticked down. He's trying to apply as much as he can. HFN though coming in hot, manages to go. He finds Quid over onto the side, so they'll be able to go collect this kill. Maybe? No, maybe not exactly. He's able to just run away. It's going to be SVG now, who is left behind, but they still manage to find the kill with Moon Meander being in position. HFN power shot coming through, and they'll find the kill. Arrow does get tossed out, but they're not going to be able to go and grab Yor. He's going to be able to TP away.
This does mean that Yor now has to play into this top area of the map where there is decidedly more crazy word vision. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that. We might have to retreat from there very fast. Look at Kazu's already pinging it.
They want him. But they do have to make some more time and space for HFN because that Chronosphere is, of course, on cooldown. We'll say SVG doesn't have the Moon Meander waiting, shooting off, and then finding the perfect angle with the shackle. So SVG will give his life. Yor does have to be a little bit careful, but they don't have as much lockdown now, so he's going to be able to walk away and farm up. I was going to say, you know, one thing that with the Elder Titan for SVG, he's able to usually protect Yor, right? At almost any cost here. He just throws out the Echo Stomp. Not as easy when you're a Treant, right? You do have the living armor, but it's not the same as that full-on disengage that you can get.
It is not. Your only full-on disengage is your ultimate, and for that you're going to have to put yourself into harm's way. Plus, it's hard as a Treant to get in harm's way, just because you're mostly lumbering over on the side anyway, being slow as you are.
I heard that as slow as you are, and I was like, that's not a very nice thing to say there, Kips. That's a bit rude.
You are.
I know, I'm kidding.
And especially...
I'm kidding. They do spot
Terrorblade
the
isn't that
though.
slow anymore.
Moon getting chased after, but they do have the Moonlight Shadow, so they should be able to disengage. It doesn't look like they have any. Oh, but they do have the Necro Book, so they'll turn right back around again. Though Lella's taking so much damage from Trial. He's gonna pop because Quinn just pops back up again. HFN, he's looking for a bash, trying to get anything he can over here on Quinn, but the rest of the team making their way over.
Zoo is wrecking.
The Zoo is just nibbling away on this poor little Hydralisk, and he is dead. No chrono for another 14 seconds, and I think they definitely would like maybe some more people here. Although they're going into the Roche Pit, and that seems a little sus to me right now, because you do, of course, have the Mortimer Kisses online for Owie,
Yes.
so they could go in on this. It's not perfect. Smoke comes
Mortimer
out. They immediately
doesn't
spot
have
up with
any
the
status.
silence being used immediately. Now over onto HFN. He's not looking like he's going to be able to... No, they do manage to go and pop him up just a little bit further. It's too much damage, though. He's going to be able to time walk it away. You are with that. Oh, this is not looking good. They throw out the Mortimer Kisses anyways. They're going to just try to slow them down. They go back in for the Chronosphere. They go.
Chronosphere.
They're going to be wide. They're going to be able to turn it back around. They get the kill on the Terror Blade. Quinn, though.
Arrow
is
to
not
follow up.
looking super great here. MSS gets taken down by Bryle. And you can tell HFN he wants to go back in, but he's afraid of Quinn, especially because of the fact that he does have that Orchid. But we'll draw back in over here on Owie. Looks like they will just disengage now. They got the chrono they wanted, they got the kill on UR, and they stopped the Roche, which was the bigger thing here. Not very low, but still. Perhaps a bit too greedy coming out from the side of Quincy crew.
Yeah, too greedy or too convinced that they can secure it. Of course, fighting with that Orchid onto Quinn is exactly what they want. You can see the threat towards HFN there is huge. He would actually have gotten popped with one more touch just because MSS power shot at him as well.
Yes.
That was too close for comfort.
A lot of pings coming out now. It's like they want to invade.
Zoom moving up.
See that remnant. They know
Going
that he's
tank,
over
tank,
there. Posturing. Arrow's gonna get tossed out though as Bryle finding SVG over on the back lines. Throws out the silence though from Quinn. They're gonna be able to follow up. This is not looking great. The lift coming out from MSS. They take down Bryle. You are joining into the fight now. Should be able to help get the kill onto Moon Meander. Moon though having that leap is gonna get eventually chased down by the reflection. You are walking over by that pit. Lelis is just chasing after Keizu. That's a whole other thing going on there. Solo kill. The Zoo's too powerful, I guess.
He took out Owie before that, so that's 2 kills just on his own. And there is really nothing that HFN can do without the Chronosphere, so his entire team just gets slaughtered. This is where things get rough. Kezu is working on the Crimson Guard to mitigate the damage coming out from that Zoo, but it's going to have to do a lot of work versus UR as well. And yeah, besides that, Bryle is so fragile versus the Void Spirit, and until he has the BKB, and he's a long way off, he's just not going to be able to survive unless he jumps first. Oh no!
This is looking like a very dead
He's
HFN.
dead.
Yeah, he just can't be not with the threat of Quinn having that Orchid and the way that
Nope.
MSS has just been trailing him around the map. It's too difficult. I think he's got to play closer to his team right now.
He does, and I didn't want to question the Battle Fury when I saw him going for it, thinking that you know, maybe this is a purely late game based call, but at the same time, I wonder now if he's ever going to actually arrive at it, because a Manta style would have saved him at least a full death right now, and in fact would have made the previous fight much easier as well. They're going to lose a lot of terrain because of this itemization.
That's a good point, the fact that they opted to go for it. And you know that you're going to have a silence on Quinn one way or the other, whether he goes for the Ags, whether
Yes.
he goes for the Orchid. So that's a little surprising, but I guess he was feeling like he was protected enough or that he had a good enough start. I don't know. Just feel a bit odd, though.
They're going to
This tower's going to go
try and make this Chronosphere work again. Yes. The wolf is at your door, and this presents extra problems for Crazy because now Lelis can press the "You go back home now" button anytime he wants by showing up at the bottom tower.
SVG will
Smoke
break
pops?
the smoke.
Oh no! He thought it was...
No! None of those are the real one. Yoar's got to be giggling to himself right now. And look at this, they can follow up if they want. Nature's Grasp gets thrown out. They know there's no Chronosphere. They know there's no Mortimer Kisses.
This is the only thing that's... Yeah, this is the only thing that HFN gets to do every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And now...
They're gonna get punished for
Quincy
this.
got free reign. So hard.
Sag.
Yes, and I believe it's going to be Roche.
Well, there's no Chronosphere to have to worry about, no Mortimer kisses. Now is the time, and again, you know, HFed's just trying to farm up. He's doing a decent job, but they can't contest that. They can't go anywhere near this pit right now.
No. And in fact, Quincy Crew is so sure of that they smoke out of the pit and see if they can catch some of these opportunistic players.
Forward. Oh, Keizu. Keizu gets caught out, and that's another kill for Quinn. This is going to be an Aegis here for UR.
Wow! Is under attack.
So, if you're on Crazy right now, really the goal is to get to the high ground, your own high ground defense in a situation where you can still defend it. So, not too much feed, hopefully, but also enough time, maybe bought by trading away kills, that you can get at least this BKB up on the Wind Ranger and a Manta Style up on your Faceless Void. Both of them about 1500 gold away, so it's definitely doable. They still have 2 tier 2 towers up for Quincy Crew to go through, but it's going to be close.
You can see lots of drawings being put on this mini-map. They're looking to just make sure they get vision up, and they're looking to see who they can pick off. But right now the triangle seems pretty occupied by the side of Quincy. They're looking at this mid tower as UR makes his way back over. Still has that Aegis online, just picked up. It's gonna be the runes coming up soon, so it looks like they're just gonna try to get in position for those for the time being. And then you'll have a couple more neutral items, so you can expend some time here if you're Quincy. You can wait a little bit.
They have all the time in the world.
Owie. Don't look at the trees, please, no. Oh, they definitely know he's there now. Moonlight Shadow does get used. And they've got the dust, so SVG's gonna poke away at him. Quinn jumping forward with that Astral Step, drawing him right back in with the Aether Remnant, and that's a nice and quick pick off, and some nice bounty runes too to fill up your bottle.
Yep, but that was a very deliberate buying space kind of death. He knows that he's dead there. He just wants to do this as far away from the base as possible, ideally drawing as many people away from his own base as possible as well.
This is big. Our boy SVG, I believe, just bought himself a Blink Dagger.
Crazy is not going to like that.
Oh, definitely not. But it's going to make his positioning even better for these overgrowths and do a lot of scouting, too.
At the very least, though, Kezu finished up his Crimson Guard, and the Manta Style is now also at the ready, so the only thing that we're waiting for to actually have Crazy fight ready is that BKB over on Growl. He's got to be careful on the top lane, though. At the very least, he's got his flank covered.
Yeah, they've got to play really, really tight here, because if HFN gets jumped on, again, does have that Manta Style now, but it's still very sus.
It is. And they're going to have to fight into, most likely, a fresh BKB on Quinn. I think he's going to purchase that before the eventual high ground go here.
They have done a good job with trying to just dodge, though. Because you know that they've got this Aegis online, they're trying to just keep pushing out waves, not allow them to get these objectives. Should have a fight breaking out fairly soon, though. I'm sure that Quincy Crew's getting a little impatient here. They'll use the wolves to scout out. They'll immediately get taken down. There's an arrow tossed out here by Moon Meander as they see the courier. Not quite as enough hits to take down just yet. And there's the Scotty picked up, though, now for UR. So this becomes even scarier.
Braille needs 100 gold for this BKB.
He says, no HFN, let me have
God,
these
please,
greens.
HFN.
Let me have them!
What are you doing?
Typical core, man.
There
There
we
it
go.
is. There's the BKB. So they're a little bit better,
It's their
well
fight
equipped
condition.
to go and fight now.
Wow!
And we do have those neutral items coming out for the next wave.
Craggy Coat might be something for Kezu to pick up. Of course, he is also very happy with it. Essence Ring.
HFN might choose to go in. No, not going to be able to. I was just dead too fast with that double damage rune. HFN
And
says
he's
better
gotta
than
feel
me.
like, yep, like there's backup coming, which he's completely correct about. So instead,
Scanning.
4 heroes sitting around his mid tower. They don't want to stop farming. They'd like to defend his mid tower, but honestly, they can't let themselves get baited into thinking that they can do it.
Well, you definitely need Owie, right? Because those Mortimer
Yes.
Kisses is such a big part
is under attack.
of their team fight. So they just gotta chill. Stay calm. And just be patient. We've got these plague wards, and they're sitting on the high ground. I like this positioning too, because they don't want to walk up into that area. So another nice thing is just this horizontal movement coming out from the side of Crazy, using the high ground and low ground to their advantage. And just placing this little wall of wards too, so it's difficult for them to pass through. I like this. Very smart.
And that was the Aegis. So enough time bought by Crazy to not only have their fighting conditions, but also wait out the entire Aegis of the Immortal on Yawar. And the gold difference hasn't gone that much up since he got it, so even though they're still behind, these are some pretty significant wins, and they actually feel ready to take the fight to Quincy Crew now with the timing out of that Aegis. Look at this smoke go.
Yeah, look at Bryle opens up, finding the opening over onto Lelis, and they even just go with the Mortimer kisses too. A little surprised that they opted to do that. I think they had enough. Now they won't have it for the Chronosphere, but you still do have the Chronosphere, so if you want to try to take a fight, if you want to go and disengage, it's still available here on HFN.
And there's still Power Shot. There's still all of Kazu's abilities as well. I don't think I lack damage for the Chronosphere. Just specifically the burst damage.
Ooh, MSS just a little bit faster here with that Blink Dagger. Pressing those buttons real nice like. BKB finish though for Quinn. So all he has to really worry about is getting caught in that Chronosphere now.
Dire's bottom tower.
As was that, the Wind Ranger is going to be able to fight back against him now. Since she has a BKB on her own, of her own.
In the mid lane, Bryle.
Bryle just runs into Yawar.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why he thought that was a good idea, because he is dead.
I had to say that he could fight back because he had a BKB, huh?
You casters cursed him, Kips. And Vizerin picked up by Quinn.
Big time.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Really enjoy how Crazy has been scraping together this farm on all kinds of weird corners of the map.
Yeah, they are very good at being able to dodge and finding just these openings where they're able to try to capitalize.
Oh, we might die for it though. Oh, we definitely will.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of what Aoi has been doing this game, unfortunately. The Chronosphere is going to get used,
Chrono?
but Quinn is here. Going to use that Aether Remnant, draws him right back in despite the Manta is going to go in, and they just aren't going to be able to do enough because HFN is fighting his way, but they do have the BKB.
Look at that damage!
He's going to be able to get bursted down. Quinn is going to be next. Kazu gets himself a double kill. What the what? All right. Down the mid lane they go.
That's just some pure underestimation from Yawar there of the amount of damage that they know that Crazy knows that there's two heroes not there, and they might even have a hunch that SVG is not in the area either. Plus, with the Manta Cell, HFN has to be a lot less scared of that overgrowth anyway. And yeah, Bryle takes care of top lane. This is absolutely excellent for Crazy. You gotta feel real good about this.
I can't believe that he went in for the jump like that. The follow-up was just immediate. It looked so scary for a second for HFN. But again, these are people that play very well together, know they'll back each other up, and know their limits. Very, very impressive. The gold
Good
lead is
demonstration
going
there.
down.
MPP next up for HFN.
Lelis
He
deciding to
just
go
wants that
jump
raw
in.
damage
Does
output.
see Moon Meander. Kazu, though, nearby. Have a couple of these leaps going on here. It's going to get netted up, though, with the Ghost Scepter. Moon Meander being smart, but there's a lift coming out here from MSS.
Lift
So
it
it
out.
looks like Moon Meander is going to get taken down. Wind Ranger, though, coming over onto the backlines, has the BKB. This got Spider Leg, though, over here onto MSS. He needs a little bit more damage, and he just doesn't have it. And Lelis is just putting out way too much physical damage himself. Bryle is going to get taken down. Get a couple of these Mortimer kisses, not going to be able to quite land them on MSS.
Oh, no.
Owie, and just like that, that nice little bit of advantage they got on the side of Crazy is completely lost.
That feels very uncharacteristic, at least compared to how they've been playing up until now. They were so tight, not giving away any kills, just trading business-like, and that was anything but business-like. It might have been a bit of a frustration move from Bryle, being like, alright, I have suffered the entire game, I waited patiently for my BKB, I gotta be able to punish these guys, and no, he was not. As soon as his wind runs out, he is food, and that leaves an Aegis in the hands of Yawar.
And cheese. Which, you know, it was a beautiful chronosphere that they were able to blow him up and, you know, have a little bit of extra damage coming out from KZ. Oh dear, HFN. Oh, what are you doing here? The leap forward, though, coming out from Meander, but there's just too much damage with the Scotty. HFN, he's held into place. He's just absolutely slaughtered here. As an arrow gets thrown out from MSS, he managed to steal it. KZ's going to be next to fall, and that's a tower down. BKB coming in handy for Quinn with that double damage. They do have buyback on KZ if they want to use it, but I don't think they're going to. Arrow gets tossed out by Meander. Tower goes down, and look at this damage between Yawar and Lelis alone. They just chonk through all of these buildings. As Quinn chonks through all the heroes. They'll make their rotation. Oh, it's a good shackle though coming out here from Bryle, but there's just too much damage still coming out. Another arrow. They want this, but they're not going to be able to. Bryle get taken down.
He melts.
What a just slaughter here.
Oh, and after holding on for so long and playing tightly together for so long, Crazy just breaks apart.
Arrow doesn't quite connect, but Meander has been left high and dry as he has to leap into his own fountain. Leaps back out again with that arrow, but they manage to sidestep it. But there is no buyback on HFN. There's a Chronosphere, but he needs help from the rest of his team. They're just feeling so powerful. They're looking like they just want to go for the end Kips.
They can.
And they are. Jump forward again, owie. Oh, owie, you can't step out of your base. Although it's a nice arrow, but that's about all they can do. They buy back, though. Gonna try to punish Quinn for going a little bit too far. They do manage to get the kill, as now Lelis, he's got the BKB, but there's too much damage coming out from Ryle. The Thunder comes out, it doesn't matter. They'll still find the kill. They leap forward again, though, from MSS, as they're still chasing down Bryle, but he's still alive and kicking here. You are realizing he's got to get out of here in a hurry. Maybe just going a little bit too far, so... Crazy using their buybacks and trying to bait them into this false sense of security that they can get this victory.
And I do think that they can get it, actually, if they keep Yawar on the front lines instead of trying to fight literally behind the enemy. Ancient?
The arrow
was not
draw
necessary.
in case it was like, go, 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 go.
It's here, their base is here.
Finished up here on Yawar. Still has that Aegis as well. This is a hard battle still. Doesn't have the meta for another 20-something seconds, though, so might be able to make some moves here. They're doing a decent amount of damage as well. And, of course, HFN does have the Chronosphere, so it's going to be imperative that he's able to go and use his Brow, though. Finding Yawar over here on the side. Mansion's going to get the shackle up. They'll stun him into place. This is looking so bad for Yawar. That's going to be his Aegis down. And they'll follow up soon.
Still Chrono.
Look at this HFN just waiting very patiently. Doesn't even need the Chrono, baby. He's lined up for that beautiful shackle.
Bryle finally gets his revenge after so long.
Baby Bryle's revenge.
What a frustrating game this man's had.
They still have a Chronosphere, and there's no buyback on UR. They could easily turn this around here. Plenty of damage coming out from HFN. They do kind of need Bryle, but he's on his way, slowly but surely. HFN says, fine, I'll hit the tower myself. Come on, Moon.
They don't nearly have the tower damage that Quincy could do, though. There's no AC here.
Trying to push in all the waves, I guess. Science being thrown out over onto HFN, but again, he has this Manta style. He doesn't seem to care. Still holding on to the Chronosphere, so Quinn has to be careful. There's the BKB coming out from Quinn. They do have the Yules. Just time walk away, and it looks like they just don't want to stick around. They're looking for an arrow, though. Quinn jumping forward over onto HFN. They'll get the lift off. They have one with the Vision Cookie Hop going onto the high ground. He's looking for it. He's considering going in for this, but again, the Science being thrown out. He doesn't have the Manta style up, and they just stay. Ryle's just trying to force anything down here because it looks like Lelis was trying to go for the finish, but Ryle gets the kill, so Lelis is taken out as the rest of the team now TPing back because they need to get these creeps off their base. They're going down too fast to the zoo. If the zoo wins this, this will be the most ridiculous ending ever, but it looks like they have it under control as they do manage to get the Chronosphere off. They get the kill over onto MSS, and it's just the most ridiculous base race over here as they go right back in again. That goes coming up from Meander. They get the kill on SVG, and HFN, he's still just going to town, still has the Chronosphere. He's holding onto it. He doesn't seem to feel like he needs it, but he could go for it right now. Get the jump over onto Quinn, get the kill over onto UR, although he follows up.
Sunder.
He has the Sunder. The buybacks coming out now from Quinn as they're putting so much damage into the space. HFN, look at him, he's thinking about it. He's considering it. They give him the cookie, they give him a little bit of more health and mana as he goes back on, and he's ready. He doesn't want to leave this base. They want this victory. They want to try to see if they can finish up this game right here, right now. There's going to be the buyback that's coming out from the Treant. The rest of Quincy are trying to force him back. They're just force-feeding HFN cookies the entire time. He's looking for this opening, and they just keep running away from him. How do you get in there, Quincy crew? How do you deal with this? No Chronosphere anymore, though, over on the Faceless Void, so he's going to try to just put some more pressure over here on the tower, and he just, again, keeps getting force-fed all of this health. These cookies, the siege is on.
How much more do they have left in the tank, though? As soon as these two heroes are up, Quincy Crew can take a full fight.
Oh,
and
the lead forward, they're coming up from one. He's
risk.
going to try to take down HFN. He's not going to be able to. They do have the quickie to force them out, and they're just trying to force them back with Brar in the back end. Riley's taking too much damage, but he managed to get to the chapter's round. You are! He's going to get taken down. He has no buyback as they jump in immediately, chasing after Quinn. Can they clean up? Do they even care? Do they just go for the finish right now? Quinn slowly trying to get himself over into the corner. MSS, though, gets the lift off over here onto Owie, managing to get a decent chunk of damage. Cookie Hop again getting stolen.
They're going to look for HFN
now. They're still trying. HFN, though, he's here. He's got so much damage. They managed to get the scatter blast off. SVG trying to run away. The Dissimilate coming through. They managed to go hold him into place. This is not looking good for HFN as he's finally going to get taken down, but he decides to buy back. He wants to be a part. They have the outpost. He's going right back in again, baby. The rest of the team, they pushed out the waves.
One more go. There's going to be one more Chronosphere. Just
go. SVG. No, they don't have the vision. He's going to be okay. Blinks away. But HFN, he wants to go back in 26 seconds before this next Chronosphere. The rest of his team following behind him. Nice arrow getting tossed in just in case they try to make the moves, and they managed to go land it over onto SVG, so he is stunned for a maximum duration. HFN, though, trying to focus down. Another arrow getting tossed out from MSS that he manages to steal, but he's not able to go and land it. Look at this. We've even got the Desolator online here for Brawl, as they just want to finish up these buildings. They want to get the end. They've had enough of all this crazy split pushing. But again, the BKB coming out. HFN, he doesn't care. He goes in for the Chronosphere over onto the Ancient. He wants to finish this up, but the Yules comes through. Not going to be able to quite go and land it. They go and they land again over on the side of Brawl. Eyes on the prize. He wants to finish this off. Is he going to be able to do it? They take out Brawl. Are they going to be able to get any more? They'll be able to finally take out HFN. Moon Meander just hopping. He's trying to get some more damage out. He's got the Moonlight Jump, leaping back and forth. Can they do it? Time chasing. Eyes on the prize. He's trying to finish this game, and he cannot do it.
Oh my god.
And they call the GG.
They call it a GG. He Chronosphered his Wind Ranger in.
Oh my god.
If he doesn't Chrono Brawl there, they win the game. It is amazing, though, that they got to stand under that Ancient at all. Quincy Crew hands them an opportunity by maneuvering too deeply into that Radiant base, but Crazy say, alright, fine, we'll take the entire game. And that was, in the end, not even up to Quincy Crew anymore. That assault was absolutely brutal, and this is what the line "that's playing to win, baby" means. This is crazy. They know that if they get pushed back one more time, just one more time, they're never going to get out on the field anymore. They never get a shot anymore, so they park themselves in the enemy base and they say, this is how we do it. Lelis doesn't manage to split push them back to their own base. It is only finally that one Chronosphere when Brawl is going full for the enemy Ancient that just... Oh, crazy.
That was
they deserved that win.
100% Crazy's game to win. And one little mistake ended up costing them.
Yes, but you gotta... I don't think they'll feel that bad about it because they wrenched this from the hands of defeat already. They were against the ropes. They had no buyback on their Faceless Void in their own base with Yoar hitting their throne.
I'm still just in shock after that whole the last 5 minutes of that game were just absolutely insane. But yeah, Crazy, they put up like one hell of a fight. And again, this should have been their victories. But God, if you're Quincy Crew, you got to be feeling a little shook right now, right? You've been sitting pretty for how long? And now these crazy kids, these Zoomers are coming in here and they're putting up one hell of a fight.
These guys are older than the Zoomers. I'd say they're more the Boomers.
I don't know. I'm so right now, like I'm still shaking from that fight. Like everything just happening all at once. But yeah, wow, what a way to lose a game. Deep breaths. Yes, exactly.
Honestly, morally, mentally, I think if you're Crazy, you still feel like you won that one. I think you're like, oh well, whatever. It's extremely frustrating to have it, but at the same time, there were so many moments where you already lost that game. The frustration plays that they were making when Quincy Crew marched up into their base, they were losing heroes one by one, kind of just, carting them in there, getting picked off. The fact that they turned it around at all was a small miracle. So I don't think we're going to see them too much shook by this. I think that it's once again Quincy Crew who have to realize that they're playing with fire here. They gave Crazy this opportunity, and these people are not about to let it go. They look so powerful. Just, that's the only word I got for it.
Yeah, it has been such a treat to be casting this grand final so far, especially just seeing the way that Crazy has been playing this. But again, it is a best of 5 series, guys. So Kips and I are going to take a short break. We're going to refuel on some Monster Energy and get ourselves ready for this next match, because these first 2 games have been absolute fire. So we will see you back here after the break.